Hey Megamaniacs, it's Mr. MegaManFan, and we've got another unboxing eBay purchases from Japan for you. So no time like the present to get into it and show you what my latest pickups are. Contents arrive intact internationally. Even if you don't always like picking up the peanuts, at least you know that everything will get there solid. Won't get anything crushed or bent or damaged or destroyed. It's all in one large brick this time, so a few more peanuts than usual. Make sure I got them all. Don't want to have to dish them out of the chair later. Yep, that appears to be everything. Okay, on to the next step. To the next episode. Hey, play games every day. Okay. Right off the bat, we got a PC Engine game. Super Momotaro Dentetsu. Super Peach Boy. Let's see if I can focus that up a little bit. There we go. Super Peach Boy for PC Engine. And since I just recently found my PC Engine to HuCard converter, it is much easier for me to play these games now without having to find a dumped ROM of them first. I can just put them directly into my TurboGrafx 16, and then of course I can always get a dump of them later on and play them off the SSD 3. But with that PC Engine to HuCard converter, or as it's called on the box, Family Game Computer Converter, it's easy to play PC Engine imports, and they are so much cheaper than North American TurboGrafx 16 games, it's not even funny. It's such a bargain by comparison. One item down, 17 to go. Got some more PC Engine games here. Yokai Dachoki, or Dachuki, I forget which way you pronounce that, but I think I may have featured this on Super Nintendo, but not actually on the PC Engine files, so I'm gonna have to compare and contrast the different versions. That's 2 items down. And we've got F1 Pilot. The name and the cover art should be self-explanatory here. It's an F1 racing game. Hopefully there won't be much of a language barrier with a racing game. I figured it was worth a shot. For that same reason, I also picked up F1 Triple Battle. Got some high hopes for that one. And I believe all of these PC Engine games were either $1 or like $1.25. None of them cost me an arm and a leg. Of course, they're not all in perfect condition. As you can see here, this one has a manual that's a little wrinkled up, but as long as the card works, that's what matters the most. And this one, I believe, was called Necromancer. It's missing the front artwork, but other than that, it's in the case and it still has the protective sleeve, so almost good enough. I can always print my own artwork if I really want it that badly, but I'd say we're pretty good with 3/4 of a complete game. I'm even at a point now where loose HuCards are more acceptable to me than they used to be, considering the prices that things go for these days. I don't whinge so much about having a loose card in some cases. Now then, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, the Super Famicom version. I don't think I can afford a complete inbox Super Nintendo copy for what those go for, but $20 for this version, I can do that. especially if you're combining shipping from overseas and getting your money's worth on international shipping, as I always try to do. It was a nice looking box from the auction photos, and to me, well worth it. But let's show you what I mean by that, because it's not just pretty on the outside, it's pretty on the inside too. And that nice manual with that very nice Super Famicom cartridge. I'll have to check either the cutting room floor or boundary break or some sort of localization website to see if there are any major version differences between North American and Japanese. I don't suspect there are too many, but I'll find out later on. Either way, holy crap, this is really cool. Maybe not as cool as Rockman X3, but right up there on my most wanted complete in-box Super Famicom game hit list. So I knocked out a pretty big one with this purchase. Normally it's like Rockman / MegaMan stuff that's the reason I do these purchases, but in this case it was largely for this one item. But while I was at it, I picked up some other boxed Super Famicom games. This is Super Momotaro Dentetsu 2 DX, Super Peach Boy 2 DX. So yeah, I kind of went with a Peach Boy theme this time around. Let me briefly show you that it's complete. There you can see the manual underneath the game. And I will be testing all these later on. This is just the unboxing side of things. I'll get in deeper later on. Not right now. Now it's just the unboxing. Got another Super Famicom game here. Sim Earth, the Living Planet, which oddly enough I also have as a TurboGrafx import, or should I say PC Engine. Trying to remember, I think that's a Super CD-ROM. I think it, for some reason, was too big for HuCards, but not too big for Super Famicom. At least that's what it appears from this release. Once again, you can see it is complete. Cartridge, manual, box, tray. I just thought it was kind of a beautiful looking game, and it was a very reasonably priced complete in-box game, as most of these were. The most expensive one was Zelda. The rest were far, far cheaper than that. Under 10 bucks, I'd say, for most of these. A couple of them, I think, might have been under 5. I think Sim Earth might have only been 3 or 4. Yeah, try getting most Super Nintendo games complete in box for those kind of prices. Good luck. Last but not least, the name intrigued me. WeZap. It's probably going to be a role-playing game that's going to be completely undecipherable. Yeah, it even says RPG right there on the back of the box. So gonna have to dump it and then get a patch from romhacking.net or somewhere else, but just for the fact it was complete in box and very inexpensive, and just the name alone, WeZap, like, is that a wizard zapping you with a magic wand? WeZap! There we go. There's the manual. There's the game. Still in the bag, no less. So, 4 complete Super Famicom games. Definitely was the big hitter out of this. And 5 PC Engine games that were very inexpensive. Rockman X5 for PS1. You know I'm not going to do an import without getting some Rockman stuff. And this one looked to be very good for the price. At least it looked good in the auction photos. It's not perfect, but I suspect it will play. Especially since I can use 20 hacks to boot it up. So I'll be trying that later on. And got some other stuff here. We got, whoa, we got Fatal Fury 2 for Super Famicom, Sword World for Super Famicom. What was this one? I'll put a note in the description right down here somewhere in text that'll say what it is if it's not Oni. And this one was only $1, so I thought, why not? See if there are any region differences between this and the Super Nintendo version, which I have, which I actually have in the box. Always good to have one more version of Space Invaders. And for Genesis Does, I can play Puyo Puyo, which was complete in the box for, I think, $4. And it'll work just fine on my Analog Mega SG without needing to use any kind of cart converter. I can just plug it in and it'll detect the region and Bob's your uncle. And I'll be off and running with Mega Drive Puyo Puyo, but it'll work just fine on my Analog Mega or even my Sega Genesis if I do use the cart converter, which I happen to have. And as per usual, got some more of these capsule figures from the Capsule Company of Japan, aka Capcom, where the beloved Mega Man / Rockman comes from. I think we forget sometimes that Capcom stands for Capsule Company. They got their start as a vendor for arcades, making capsule games, UFO catchers, that kind of stuff. They were not into the video game side of thing at first. They grew into that like a lot of other companies in Japan did. Just like Sega started out in crane games and coin games and pachinko games, and then eventually they got into arcade games. And Nintendo started out as a Hanafuda playing card manufacturer and then got into mechanical and electrical games in the 1970s before getting into video game cabinets and home consoles later on in the 70s, and of course getting huge with that in the 80s. Couldn't resist picking up a nice Rush figure. See if I can get the camera to focus on him a little better. Everybody's favorite helpful, friendly pooch. Always willing to lend Mega Man a helping hand. Good boy. And got a Proto Man here, or appropriately enough, since this one is colored blue, he's called Blues in Japan. I thought that was a nice double entendre. I was getting a Blues that was blue. Let's get a good look at him. Get the camera to focus up a little again. You can see his trademark winged helmet shades right there. And you can even see the tail of his scarf that he always has around his neck right there on his back. So I got Proto Man, I got Rush. Should be one more in here. Oh, yeah, just hit the floor. There it is. Almost lost it. What we have here is another Proto Man. This one's a little dirtier. I think I might want to clean this one up before I put it on the shelf. It's got a little bit of grime on it, but that's okay. It was only $1. I don't mind cleaning it up. So there we go. 3 capsule figures, 4 boxed Super Famicom games, 1 boxed Sega Genesis Mega Drive game, 1 PlayStation 1 game, 4 loose Super Famicom games, and 5 PC Engine games. Makes for 18 items total. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thank you for watching. My handle focus there. Focus. I'll see you all on the next video.